Time now for sports news on the news at 10 with Ayo Balogun.
Many thanks, Gimba. Germany's Angelique Kerber stunned world number one Serena Williams in 3 sets to win her first ever career Grand Slam title at the Australian Open. Kerber, seeded 7th, won a thrilling final 6-4, 3-6, 6-4 at Melbourne Park. The 28-year-old is the first German to win a major singles title since Steffi Graf at the 1999 French Open. Serena was beaten for just the 5th time in 26 Grand Slam finals and missed out on the chance to tie Graf's Open-era record of 22 titles. Kerber will move up to number 2 in the world rankings.
My whole life I was working really hard, and now I'm here and I can say I'm a Grand Slam champion, so it sounds really crazy and unbelievable.
World number one Novak Djokovic says he's motivated to win a 6th Australian Open title, but he expects a tough battle against Andy Murray in Sunday's final. Now, the pair will clash at the Rod Laver Arena on January the 31st. But despite being tipped as a huge favourite, Djokovic isn't leaving anything to chance against his British rival. The Serb leads their head-to-head meetings 21-9 and has beaten Murray in their 3 previous meetings in Australian Open finals.
For a Grand Slam trophies is a pinnacle of our sport, and this is exactly where you want to be. You work hard to put yourself in this position, and of course, adding to that the fact that I am able to make history is of course just an additional encouragement.
DR Congo has qualified for the African Nations Championship semi-final with a 2-1 win over host Rwanda in front of a packed stadium in Kigali. Docha Giganchi opened the scoring in the 10th minute with a long-range shot from the edge of the box to surprise the Amavubi, who had started the game brightly. Striker Ernest Sugira found the back of the net in the 56th minute to draw Rwanda level. However, Pado Bompunga's header in the second half of extra time sent the Leopards into the last 4. In the other semi-final, the Elephants of Côte d'Ivoire defeated Cameroon's indomitable Lions 3-0. The FA Cup took centre stage across England as teams fought hard to secure passage to the 5th round. Super Eagles forward Kelechi Iheanacho's hat-trick helped Man City beat Aston Villa 4-0. Elsewhere, Odion Ighalo came off the bench to score for Watford in their 1-0 victory over Nottingham Forest. Alexis Sanchez grabbed the winner as cup holders Arsenal edged Burnley by 2-1 at the Emirates. Crystal Palace beat Stoke 1-0 in an all-Premier League affair, while Tottenham Hotspur thrashed Colchester United by 4-1. An inexperienced Liverpool ended their FA Cup 4th round tie against West Ham United in a goalless draw at Anfield. Defending champion Brandon Grace has become the first player to retain the Qatar Masters title following a final round 69 at the Doha Golf Club. The South African birdied the first, bogeyed the 5th, and then carded 3 more birdies, including 1 at the last hole for the 7th European Tour win of his career. Third-born Olsen of Denmark and Spain's Rafa Cabrera Bello finished joint second, 2 shots back. Well, that's the end of sports news. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The rest of the news at 10 continues in a moment with Gimba.
Turkey says a Russian jet Su-34 belonging to the country's Federation Air Force has violated its airspace despite repeated warnings and summoned the Russian ambassador to Ankara. According to the Turkey Foreign Ministry, the violation is a concrete indication of Russian acts aiming to escalate problems and warned that Russia will be responsible for any dire consequences which can emerge from such irresponsible acts if the violations continues. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has advised Russia to act responsibly, respect NATO airspace and take all necessary measures to ensure that such violations do not happen again. In the meantime, Turkish Coast Guard say that at least 39 migrants, including several children, have drowned trying to cross the Aegean Sea from Turkey to Greece. Well, thousands of refugees and migrants continue to make the dangerous journey by the sea from Turkey to Greece to seek asylum in northern Europe.
The Turkish Coast Guard continues search and rescue efforts near where the boat sank off the coast of Iheanacho, a Turkish town across from the Greek island of Lesbos. It's not immediately clear how many migrants in total were on board, but officials say 5 of those killed were children. Those rescued have been hospitalized with hypothermia symptoms. Officials say the migrants were of Syrian, Afghan and Myanmar origin. Hundreds of thousands of refugees from the 5-year-old civil war in Syria have traveled through Turkey, then risked their lives at sea to reach Greek islands. Turkey is the first stop in their journey to the European Union before continuing to wealthier Central and Western European countries. Meanwhile, the German Chancellor has expressed frustration at Europe's response to the migrant crisis, reiterating her call for a joint solution to the continent's biggest refugee influx for decades. Angela Merkel told a gathering of her Christian Democratic Union Party that a refusal to take in refugees from Syria reflects badly on Europe.
It is incomprehensible to me that a European Union with 500 million inhabitants cannot take in, for example, 1 million Syrians, whereas a country with 5 million inhabitants like Lebanon is managing it. That does not give a good impression of our continent.
Amid growing calls for a cap on the number of refugees, Merkel has stuck to her position of calling for a European-wide agreement on the distribution of refugees. But the European Union has been dug by in fighting on the issue. Of the 160,000 refugees due to be relocated under the bloc's quotas system, just a handful have been redistributed among member states. No fewer than 300 Syrians have been officially relocated under the scheme, half of them to snowy Finland.
The United States State Department says that 22 emails sent through Hillary Clinton's unsecured home server while she was Secretary of State cannot contain government secrets. Therefore, the messages cannot be released as they have been classified top secret. Ms. Clinton, who is seeking the Democratic nomination for the 2016 elections, has been under fire for using a private computer server for work emails while in office. On her request, thousands of those emails have been released by the State Department, but this is the first time her messages have been labeled classified at any level. And the main news again, 6 people lost their lives after a boat capsized between Ijede and Badore in Lagos, southwest of Nigeria. More reactions are still trailing the judgment of the Supreme Court on Anambra PDP as candidates from the Ejike Ogwebego camp ask INEC to issue them with certificates of return. And Turkey has issued a warning to Russia after it claimed its jet has violated its airspace. And that's how it's been on the news at 10 tonight. I want to thank you so much indeed for being a part of it. I'm Gimba Umar on behalf of the entire production crew. Have a splendid night rest. Good night.